This last week's been kind of interesting. I mean, there's a lot of cool games that came out. We've already talked about that. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Sonic Superstars, but I started seeing with my excitement for these games, and I had my concerns initially, but leading up to it, up till now, I started seeing a lot. I don't know why, but there's always people who want to knock you down, and hey, whatever gets them hard, that's great for them. But I've been seeing a lot of people, not billions of people or nothing, but a good number of people, to where this got in my brain to talk about and think about, saying, hey, these video games are for kids. You're a grown man. What's wrong with you? All these weird things. And it reminds me of, many times in the past of people being like, this is for kids. Video games are for kids. Cartoons are for kids. Comic books are for kids. Collectibles are for kids. All sorts of different things. They're all for kids. Everything's for kids. I don't see no damn kids with money going out and buying this stuff. We buy this kind of stuff for kids, but at the same time, we were all kids at one point. And here's my thing. I try to not be a very judgy person. Like, I don't go around judging everybody based off of the things that they're into. Whatever your interests are. The only way would be like if you're harming somebody else. Like, if what you're into harms absolutely nobody, but it brings you joy, doesn't hurt someone, great, more power to you. I don't care what you're into. You could be a 50-year-old man who enjoys Paw Patrol. Great. That's cool, I guess. Everybody's into something different, but to not be joking too much about it. I've seen this a lot, like especially with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This game is for kids. It looks cartoony. It looks ridiculous. Everybody wants to judge each other. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You grew up with certain things. Some things will age up with you, and I've seen that happen. As an example, I have kids. I have teenagers, and one of my kids, young adult, grew up watching Adventure Time, right? The cartoon Adventure Time. And I'd watched it with her, and I enjoyed it. And I was a grown-ass adult at that time. And then they continued it on, and, there's been a new series that came out, and the themes, it seems a little more mature, a little more adult, or a little more young adult anyway. Some things will age with you, and realize, like, hey, that group of people who grew up with this, they may still be into it, and let's kind of age up with them. It happens, but not with everything. Not with everything. Like, you don't see Super Mario Brothers going out there, busting out a gun, popping caps and Koopa Troopa's asses or nothing like that. They're not graphic games. They're not mature games in that sense. But it always kind of drives me crazy when people are like, oh, you're into Super Mario? You're into, these different games, Sonic the Hedgehog? These are games that were for kids. Like, where does that mentality come from? Because, yeah, I grew up with those. I was a kid at a certain point, and there's certain things that I really enjoyed, and I still enjoy to this day. It brings me, some kind of joy, I guess. It's just a weird thought that everything, if it doesn't fit what you're into, like, they think if you're a grown man, the only games you could be playing is Madden and Call of Duty and stuff like that. And it's like, well, why can't I enjoy a little bit of everything? Things that are maybe not so serious, just fun, like Super Mario. Wasn't the most challenging game in the world. One of my concerns was that it was going to be too easy, but it really wasn't. It had a good balance, but it wasn't a crazy difficult game. It wasn't like, anything nuts. Wasn't Elden Ring, stuff like that. It was Super Mario. It was the kind of challenge I expected from a 2D Mario game. But it's like, okay, is it the aesthetics of it that, I can't be into it because it's colorful? It's not crazy graphic. I don't know. I don't understand these things. Like, a lot of people nowadays, and you'll see it with toys, right? Where there's a lot of toys out there where they're more geared towards adult collectors, right? And is there people judging them? I'm sure there is. I don't see it, but you go to Target, you go to any of these places that sells toys, and a lot of the stuff, these kids, they don't give a crap about toys anymore. They give a crap about their phone, whatever, video games, PCs, their shoes, shit like that. They don't care about toys. A lot of them don't, so it's like a lot of that stuff is geared towards adults who, have the money to buy collectibles, and it's nostalgia is really the thing. I mean, I wasn't searching for that word. I know that's what it really boils down to. It's some of our interests, the way that we're shaped into what we like in the future when we're older. You know what I mean? Like at some point, I have to give up games to be an adult. I don't understand. That sounds ridiculous to me. And I think for anybody who thinks that way, it's like, what is it? Like, dig down into yourself. What is it that you're into that maybe somebody else won't like be into, or could judge you or think down upon you? Like I said, I don't look down on people on things. Like, if you're having fun and you enjoy it, that's all that freaking matters. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. That's like the biggest thing for me. As long as you ain't hurting anybody else, it's great. Whatever you're into is awesome. Doesn't matter the video games, the movies. Like, there's cartoons I love. I like revisiting stuff. Like, I remember, always watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. I will revisit that. It's not like I'm getting up every morning like I gotta watch my morning cartoons. It's not like that. But it's stuff that I've held on to that brings me back. It's nostalgia. So occasionally I like to revisit that. When a game like Super Mario Wonder comes out, Sonic Superstars comes out, a new Legend of Zelda, anything that reminds me of those times where I had zero responsibilities, where I didn't have to do anything but just do my schoolwork and maybe some chores and then play some video games. It was a more innocent time. Like, if there's things that can remind me of that and I could be happy with it for a little while, it doesn't hurt anybody. So why do people still insist on attacking others or making this misconception that video games, maybe not just in general, but certain video games are just for kids? There was a certain point in time where every video game was looked at like, hey, this is just for kids. But nowadays it's like, hey, there's a lot of adult gamers. There's games that are geared towards adult gamers. And then there's everything in between. If you're an adult, you can't enjoy, something you were into back in the day. I don't understand that. It's just something that was weighing, not really, like, I'm not losing sleep, trust me. Yeah, this is a Madlittlepixel channel. Mad, I don't know, I'm not mad. It's not like I'm losing sleep. I'm crying myself to sleep each night thinking about how I've seen these comments, people attack me. You're a grown man. You got gray hairs and you're talking about Super Mario Wonder. I just think it's ridiculous. Like, for you to come around and judge other people on things that they're enjoying. Like, hey, as long as I'm enjoying it and I'm paying my bills, taking care of my kids properly, our lights are still on, everybody's fed. Hey, yeah, I'll buy a game that I want every once in a while. And if it's a game that doesn't fit your adult perception, who cares? What the hell's wrong with people, man? But yeah, just discussion, rant, and ramble, not even like, planned. Just, hey, it's just an annoying thing. There's things that annoy me, and that's one when people attack you saying, this is for kids. Why are you talking about? Get the hell out of here. But thanks for watching. Bye.